And council, can you please make sure your mics are on? Councilor Johnson?
Here.
Councilor Lorenz?
Here.
Councilor Segala?
Here.
Councilor Ellithorpe?
Here.
Mayor Becker?
Here.
A quorum is declared.
Got any modifications? No?
No.
Okay. Approval of consent agenda, minutes of the regular meeting from March 21st, and review and approval of accounts payable.
I move we accept the minutes of the regular meeting from March 21st and review and approval of accounts payable.
Second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded that the approval of the consent agenda of March 21st meeting. Any more discussion? Nita?
Councilor Lorenz?
Aye.
Councilor Segala?
Aye.
Councilor Ellithorpe?
Aye.
Councilor Johnson?
Aye.
Mayor Becker?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Proclamations, communications, and appointment. Introduction to new employee. You are not a new employee.
The newness is worn off. No. I'm here tonight to introduce our new accounts payable and utility billing clerk. This is Diana Smith. She comes to the city of Monte Vista from California. She's got a pretty extensive background in accounts payable and billing. She's been doing this for over 20 years. So she's going to be, I think, a great fit to the team, and I'm going to let her tell everybody a little bit about herself. So, okay.
Sorry, I'm getting a little cold, so it's a little cough. So I'm Diana Smith. My husband and I moved to Alamosa here at the end of July 2018. We accepted a position at Adams State. So I had been working remotely for a company in California. And then I finally got this job. So we have 2 children that live in Colorado Springs. So I'm excited to come out here. It's closer than California. You know, so, and grandson.
Wow.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, welcome. We're glad to have you.
I'm very excited. Thank you.
What part of California?
Santa Monica.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
You miss it at all?
Just curious.
Just wondering.
I just have to know.
I have not been in the winters like this in a long time.
Yeah.
I grew up in Kansas City, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's refreshing. Really love that.
Makes spring and summer and fall so much nicer when you have a winter like this.
Yeah, the season's it's really nice. So we're just want to get settled in and enjoy the family.
Good. Good.
Welcome.
And that's your big Jeep outside?
Yes.
Blue Jeep.
So you're
Very
really
nice.
going to enjoy the area. That's nice. Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
We have no special presentations. Okay, we'll move on to citizen comments. City Council welcomes your unscheduled comments. Please limit comments to 3 minutes. Council will not take action at the same meeting.
Margot Alexander. Hello, everybody. I am here with some concerns. It really grieves me to have to talk to you about the code of ethics that you all should be following. And I think some of this has gone awry. At time was about a month ago when the city clerk emailed y'all some information. Apparently it got to Ron Douglas, and the result was a confrontation with Nita, uncalled for. That was not for him, that was for you to have. Unethical. that the last meeting we had, you all had a vote on Ron Douglas's leases, which is fine, I have no problem with that. However, there are 2 members on this council who should have excused themselves from voting. They did not. We have a state statute that explicitly says that you cannot vote if you have dealings with the person. That should have been brought up, and you did not. Therefore, I think the vote should be canceled, and it should have to be readdressed. The third thing is when Ron Douglas was up here talking about his leases, not a problem, but he told you that if the city takes back the Guslow building, the city should reimburse him. I'm sorry, if you would have read his contract, you would have seen that it states in there he is responsible for that. And Mr. City Attorney, why did you sit there quietly during that meeting and never say anything to these people who depend upon you for legal advice? You sat there quietly, and maybe they didn't know, and so this went on. I'm really disappointed.
So, council, I would like to just address one thing. Excuse me. So I want to thank everybody for their support, their backing, and their encouragement. But I also want to let you all know that, excuse me, that Mr. Douglas and I have spoken, and we are on good terms. So I want you all to know that. So, thank you.
Bless you. Is there any other public comments? Resolutions.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. We have a number of resolutions for you to consider this evening, and I'll be taking those. I gave Mr. Vance the evening off. He's been working really hard, and I figured I probably could answer most questions. This first one is resolution number 01-2019, approving a revision of the city's compensation philosophy and wage basis for the City of Monte Vista's employees. As you recall, at the last council member meeting, we had a presentation from Employers Council consultant on this matter. He basically provided the information to you. It was provided in the packet as well. I don't know if you all have any further questions on that. I'd be happy to take those. Otherwise, staff would recommend that you approve this resolution this evening.
So this is the resolution, this is the discussion of the wage practices market competitiveness study that we've been talking about. This was done like a couple months ago.
It was presented to you at the last council meeting.
Yeah.
Mr. Lazo was here to present that information.
Oh, this is the one, okay.
Right, so, there's two components of that as we talked about. There's both compensation philosophy itself that creates a wage basis, and I discussed what that would mean for our employees and our manner of implementing it incrementally. Only part of it in this fiscal year. We would come back at the mid-year with a budget amendment, and that would be for the first pay period in July. And then we would wait until the end of the first quarter of 2020. We'll work it into the budget, but we'll also see where we're at financially. And we'll do the best that we can to address this in order to make our wages more competitive. But basically, this resolution would then incorporate the study that is included in your packet as well, which is the Employers Council project report on compensation consulting services. So that would be incorporated into our management of our employees by this resolution.
Well, based on that and the presentation by Mr. Lazo, I move to approve on first reading Resolution 01-2019, resolution approving the revision of the city's compensation philosophy and wage basis for the city of Monte Vista employees.
Point of order on that, Councilor. There's only one reading on this resolution. It is a resolution rather than.
So the first reading is
It would be the reading. Yes.
Then I amend that to simply approve the Resolution 01-2019.
I would second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 01-2019. Is there any more discussion? Nita?
Counselor Segola?
Aye.
Counselor Lorenz?
Aye.
Counselor Ellithorpe?
Aye.
Counselor Johnson?
Aye.
Mayor Becker?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Your second resolution of the evening is something new, I guess. We'll call it. This is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Monte Vista, Colorado, accepting the works completed as the City of Monte Vista sewer system improvements. This is a new requirement, I guess we'll call it that. So when we did our wastewater improvement projects, or the sewer system improvements, as you recall, Rob was here last meeting and showed you that really awesome, hopefully accurate graph of the way the wastewater system's now performing. We'll, continue to monitor that, but obviously, at least initially, the work came out really well. Excuse me. We're required to advertise for any lien holders, et cetera, on these projects, and we accomplished that 2 months ago, or 3. But we had 3 funding sources on this project. So we had a DOLA Energy Impact Assistance Grant, we had a loan from CWR PDA, and we had EPA funds. And the new requirement is only from one funder, and basically they want a resolution of the council as well. I don't think that was in the fine print when we signed the contract, but that's their new requirement. We have met all the requirements, and this is the final one. We're getting our final draw done with them this week, which is basically retainage and everything, and we've done the advertising. We have no claims against the contractors or vendors, so this is really just a formality to satisfy a paper requirement of CWR PDA. So staff would certainly recommend that you approve that this evening.
And it's not a first reading approval either?
No,
It's
that would
just-
be a resolution, one read.
This is it. Okay. I move that we approve Resolution 02-2019, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Monte Vista, Colorado, accepting the work completed as the City of Monte Vista sewer system improvements.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to accept or approve Resolution 02-2019. Is there any more discussion? Nita?
Counselor Johnson?
Aye.
Counselor Segola?
Aye.
Counselor Lorenz?
Aye.
Counselor Ellithorpe?
Aye.
Mayor Becker?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. So my favorite one of the evening, no doubt. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Monte Vista, Colorado, establishing watering restrictions on sprinkler systems and lawn irrigation. Yes, we've had a fabulous snow year. Didn't quite get my 500 inches at Wolf Creek, but close.
We're not done yet.
Yeah,
We
so
can still
it's,
get
it's
some.
possible. But I think, still, that 1 year, it doesn't recharge the aquifer. We've certainly gotten some interesting information from Councilor Lorenz that bolsters that opinion. And we had fully anticipated that we would have watering restrictions again this year. But as you recall, they're adopted on an annual basis by resolution. This year, it won't be as confusing. We're going to follow the same model that we ended up with last year. That was a little unfortunate, but the whole point is to conserve water still. Yeah, there's more water in the mountains, and if that goes on for 10 years, as much or more, that would be very positive for the aquifer, but there's still a lot of water challenges in the valley. So in order to be good neighbors and conserve water, staff's recommending that you pass this resolution this evening. This will establish, once again, that odd-numbered addresses can water on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday of each week, and even-numbered addresses can water on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday of each week. So Mondays is the no watering day. Now, the question will come from the public. Well, so, we do provide for exemptions for new lawns. So you call the city, say, hey, I'm planting a new lawn. Okay, we write down the name and address of the people that are planting the lawn, and we give that to our code officer, who basically is the person that actually enforces these. And we just have a list of those so that he would know that. As far as watering shrubs and stuff, we talked to a lot of people about that last year. And if you take a little watering can and you want to water your shrubs or your flowers a little bit, that's fine. But, this is really the largest waste of water is through sprinkling. A lot of it ends up in the air. Even if your system is really well designed, most of them need a tune-up most of the time, and they waste a lot of water. So those are basically the caveats that are there. If somebody, they have something that's brand new like a lawn, we can work with them. But essentially, we do want to conserve water, so staff would hope that you'd approve this resolution this evening.
I move to accept Resolution 03-2019, creating watering restrictions for the city of Monte Vista.
I'd second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 03-2019. Is there any more discussion?
May 1st. So May 1st through October 31st. And we will get the word out through all of our media platforms.
I think it's a really good idea that we do that.
Pretty necessary.
Every little bit helps. More discussion? Nita?
Counselor Ellithorpe?
Aye.
Counselor Johnson?
Aye.
Counselor Segala?
Aye.
Counselor Lorenz?
Aye.
Mayor Becker?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, I'll keep my report very brief this evening. You have it in your packets. Probably the most fun I have had going to a meeting for a little while is I went on behalf of the URA with Commissioner Laura Conchelos, who, as you recall, you just recently appointed to the URA board. She's also on the CRHDC board, so she has a good tie to that. We had a great conversation about solar, which is what she does for business, and how that might relate to Sky High, so that was great. But it was really good for us to we talked with some folks in the public, and that was really good. But it was also really good networking for the housing organizations. As you know, the URA will have some housing lots sometime this summer. And so, I hadn't had a real good chance to talk to Habitat about that very much, so we had a really good conversation. And, it was fun to talk about housing for a while, because, I used to do that. And so it was a really good meeting. We did get some members of the public and got to eat some good cookies too, so that was all good. Other than that, I talked about the wage classification study. We appreciate you approving that, and we'll roll that out to the employees. I'll have Bob Gill, our HR guy, as we like to call him, communicate that to employees. We'll have a couple of employee meetings so they understand what that's going to look like. And other than that, we're still working on informational materials for the sales tax proposal and a few other things. This morning we had our breakfast with the school board, and people got tied up and there were different things going on, so it actually ended up just being Gary Wilkinson and myself, which actually worked out okay because, as you know, he's the vice chairman of the URA, and we had a loan document to get signed, and Jim Poston stopped by as well. So we got that done. That was good. We are coordinating spring cleanup, and gosh, that's like, why is that date escaping me? Nita, you remember that one? Well, that's embarrassing, but so 9th and 10th,
Isn't
I
it?
believe.
Oh, I thought it was the same as Earth Day.
Yeah, it's not the same as Earth Day, it's the same as day as, so Pirate Pride Day will be right there, so we can get that interaction with the school again. You know, they actually enjoy doing that, and Mr. Webb was like, can we do that again? We're like, yes, we can. So we will have spring cleanup day, and it's on a Friday and a Saturday, half a day on Saturday. We will not be doing alleys. Okay, we're just doing normal stuff. We'll have the big dumpsters down at Public Works so people can bring their goods down. We'll get advertisements out about it. There's some things we don't take, like paints and hazardous materials and things like that.
Washers and dryers.
Yeah, so we'll get that out to the public here in the next week or so people can plan ahead. And you know, as always, after spring cleanup, we'll be hitting the code enforcement pretty hard. So it's a good opportunity for people to get ahead of that. And, you know, it's a natural time to get your yard ready for summer. And, you know, hope everyone's enjoying the weather. But I was looking at my yard today going, well, I know what I'm doing this weekend. So anyway, yeah, I don't have a calendar sitting in front of me, but it's Friday and Saturday. We got a calendar?
The 12th and 13th.
What Friday?
Looking.
Is it
Of May?
April or May?
May.
I think it's the 10th and the 11th.
Okay. Yeah, Friday and Saturday, is that the 10th and 11th?
Yes.
So there we go. Thank you, Nita. So the 10th and 11th. So all day on Friday, the 10th, and half day on the 11th. And I'm thinking Pirate Pride Day is the 9th. Maybe that's where I was going. But they've been really good at helping at various things. Sometimes they come out to the cemetery and they get a list of folks that need assistance with their yards. And, you know, it's really great to see the high school kids out there. So we're looking forward to that. And that is all I have this evening, unless you have any questions.
Any information on the golf course?
Well, Mr. Mayor, I believe that we're asking council to schedule a work session for the 16th at 6 p.m. We'll have two topics that evening. One's the golf course. I know both Councilor Ellithorpe and Councilor Johnson have been working on various aspects of that. So hopefully that evening we will get together and have a business plan to look at and some things of the council to consider. And if you decide you want to take action on that, that would follow that Thursday. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Forrest. What happens?
So I just wanted to pass this around. We received a certificate of appreciation from the Crane Fest. So it'll be posted, we'll hang it up outside on the wall with all the other certificates. I just, a couple things. Forrest already touched on the 16th, a work session. That work session would also include Adams State University. They would like to meet with you to go over strategic plan, to go over their strategic plan and what involves the city that they have with that strategic plan. So will the 16th work for all of you? That's Tuesday. The rest of you are okay?
Should be good. I might be a little late.
Okay. And then the other thing I just wanted to touch on briefly is to let you guys know, I put in front of you is the election calendar. So that's coming upon us pretty quickly. Excuse me. So we'll go ahead and I'll get that out in the paper and get that information out to the public as well, so we can, I believe it's the 8th of July, I'll have an open work session for those interested in running for council. Okay. Any questions? No.
I mean, you're next.
How are you guys doing? I know, I was just like, are they gonna call me or should I just walk off?
Sorry about that, man. I'm gonna bring something down.
That's okay. Since I'm the last one on the agenda, I just want to go through this really fast. I think the last report I let you guys know that it was from December through, or actually November through January, or December, and so now I'm doing December through now. And so at the end of December or mid-February, we finished with our youth basketball league. And I think I reported at that time that we had about 80 kids registered for that event. 3 out of our 3 teams for 3rd and 4th grade made it to the tournaments, and they placed 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And then 2 out of our 3 5th and 6th grades made it to the finals, and they placed 3rd and 4th, or no, 1st and 2nd. And then the tournaments were hosted in Center. So I think kids, we're not so worried about the wins, but when they win, it's showing that they're actually learning something and they're improving. And so to us, it's a win. Also in January 20th, we hosted the Denver Nuggets Skills Challenge like we do every year. That event is open for all girls and boys ages 6 to 13. We hosted it at the Monte Vista Middle School gym. This year was a little bit lower in numbers than past years. We had about 15 kids participating that day. I think my crew and I got together and we're just trying to figure out what happened, because we usually have 25, 30, 35. And I think it was two of the factors. Was one, that day snowed, or the night before I think it snowed, and it was a Sunday. And then I think the other ones when was making the changes on the posting for Facebook, and there was some confusions there about the dates and times and stuff like that. But nevertheless, we had some there. Some of those kids move on to participate in Pueblo. I never heard back from the parents if they move on from there or not, but we're gonna keep trying that. I think that's a good skill challenge for the kids. Also in February, we opened the registrations for Adult Basketball League. In the past years, we've been having an average of 10 to 11 teams. This year, we end up with 13 teams for men's and 5 for women's. And so it's actually going right now. We are having games Monday through Thursday, starting at 6 and the last game at 9. So we were there pretty much all evening.
Where are those?
At the middle school
Okay.
gym. We have 4 teams from the college here, just neighbor from us, and then the rest was just from later citizens around Monte Vista, in Monte Vista. Let's see. We're still kind of working on the family fun skate night. I know we kind of put it on the schedule to have it every 4th Friday of the month. This last Friday, something came up that we weren't able to host it, but we're still planning on every 4th Friday. So just to put it out there for the community, it is a kind of an event for just families, for the parent and the kid to come out and just have some fun skating. So, and all we ask is just like a donation, $1 donation to get in, and we have some skates there for you guys to skate. Right now we have the youth soccer program going on. We started that last week, and we end up with about 26 to 30 kids registered for that event, between pre-K all the way to 7th grade. We have two teams for pre-K and kindergarten, and then one team for first and second, one team for third and fourth, and one team for 5th and 7th. As far as the Sky High, we pretty much have a lot of events already scheduled throughout the year. I just listed some of those there on the report, and so we are staying busy with that. My guys are constantly at the Sky High cleaning, getting it ready, for events like that. Tomorrow, the NRA is moving in for their fundraiser that they're going to have Saturday all day. So that's one that is this weekend. Let's see. Also, we have some rentals over at the rodeo grounds already. It's on the calendar, ready to go. So we're just waiting for those to come, and we'll start getting ready for that. Other than that, we're just staying on top of things, trying to bring up more events. When we're talking about basketball, one of the things that is coming up is from older people like me, that now that there's a lot of competition in the league, mostly college, we can't keep up with those guys. So we're thinking about doing a 40 and over league. And so that's in the talks now. So maybe after this league, we'll come out with another 40 and over league. So at least we can be able to move around the court. So that's the plans for now. Again, I just want to take the opportunity to thank all the volunteer coaches and volunteer parents that come out and help us with the programs, because without them, none of these programs could happen. Most of these coaches, or all of these coaches, are volunteer basis, and so we really appreciate their time and their effort to be out there teaching our kids. And I just want to announce that anybody wants to help out, volunteer with the recreations department, just it's a good opportunity to get involved with the kids, to know what they're like, and teach something that you already know. They always look up to adults, and they always want to be like somebody else. So we need role models out there to start getting involved with their youth. So just get a hold of me by phone, or come talk to me in my office. We always have room for people. So that's all I have. If you guys have any questions, concerns, comments for me. My name is Jaime. I'm the recreations director. Oh, yes. Yeah, thanks.
I'll give you a compliment. That person from the NRA banquet came in the office, and they complimented you and your crew highly because of the way you guys are helping them and taking care of them. So they were very complimented on what you do.
Thank you. And that's what we're trying to do. I know it's not the best facility, but I know a lot of people like to use it, and so we're just trying to accommodate as much as we can, get people in there.
It is the best facility, I mean.
Yeah.
It's just going to get better.
It's going to get better, I hope. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Jaime.
Thank you.
Council committee, city commission, and council reports. We'll start with the ladies in first.
All right. Let's see. We have, today's the 4th. Coffee with the Cop is next Saturday at 8 o'clock at Mountain View. So that's coming up. And the Upper Rio Grande Economic Development Breakfast is Tuesday. Is that right? The 9th?
No, actually, I'm sorry, there won't be one this week because the neighbor is going to.
Oh, okay. All right. And then Neighborhood Watch and Crime Stoppers is Monday the 15th. And I would just like to say, Crime Stoppers had a skate night in Alamosa, sponsored a skate night at the ice rink, and it was awesome. I thought it was well attended, and everybody really seemed to enjoy themselves, and Nikki and Mark and Melanie and that group did a great job, and they had lots of door prizes and auctions to raise money, and it was a lot of fun. And library meeting coming up, and that's about it.
15th is Crime Stoppers.
Crime Stoppers is at 4 o'clock.
Actually, they switched.
Did they move it?
For the 22nd.
Oh, good. That's better.
Neighborhood Watch, 22nd.
The second is Crime Stoppers.
Just so there's no confusion, not this Saturday, but 13th is second.
They would have been buying breakfast all on their own.
And I've been busy with the golf course folks and had several conversations with them, trying to pull together some funding to help keep that golf course going for the summer, and looking for some other extra funding, and hopefully we'll have a good turnout at the meeting with them on Tuesday, the 16th, here at City Hall. It's just a work session, no decisions will be made, but we can have the conversations about what money and what, but I'm excited to see their business plan. Gary's been working with them on a business plan because that's not something I'm familiar with. And so he's kind of stepped up and is helping them formulate a good business plan. And again, spay and neuter your pets. It's kitten season, and we're about to get inundated at the shelter. We are actually having an adopt-a-thon in Alamosa at the Tractor Supply, only because Big R couldn't fit us in to this soon here in Monte. And so we're going to have an adopt-a-thon Saturday at Tractor Supply in Alamosa. And we'll have some Roddy mixed puppies and 2 of the cutest little pit mixed puppies. They're pit bull and English bulldog, if you can imagine that. They're really cute, funny looking little dogs. And probably a litter or 2 of kittens that have been brought in, and hopefully we'll kind of have some empty pens now at the shelter because we're full again. And so spay and neuter your pets. It'll be this Saturday, hon, and we'll be down there at 9:30 to 1:30 at Tractor Supply in Alamosa. And we take volunteers if you know of anybody that wants to come help us.
Victor?
I just want to just thank the community members for coming out, for speaking up, for being a part of it. I also want to thank the police force, for being on the street, dealing with a lot of the things that we don't the bus, they're at, awesome. I also want to encourage people to play golf. It's support the golf course. I never been involved in that. I'm not changing that this year. So
Thank you. I just wanted to reiterate that about the golf course. I am encouraged by some of the progress made with the business plan and that kind of thing. And we'll see in the dealing with Jake, and then he's the vice president. And hopefully this next week we'll get all or most of the details worked out, so we have a cohesive presentation Tuesday. So that is a public meeting. Welcome to come out if you're interested in golf. If you're interested in the golf course process. So that's it. Cool.
Well, as Victor, I want to thank everybody for coming out. I'd really like to see more people come to a positive meeting instead of always the negative meetings. But The only thing I'm going to leave you with is we are all members of a local community. If we act like it, we will be successful. So, thank you all for being here. And meeting is adjourned until
Recent.
April 18th.